treatment stop a citizen from leaving a hospital? Can doctors be pressured by the administration? And where do medical ethics, fundamental rights, and state power intersect? The recent Sonam Wangchuk controversy is not just about one activist. It raises important constitutional, ethical, and governance questions that are highly relevant to UPSC Prelims, Mains, and interview. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the latest update series of Mastoora IAS. So, today we will understand about this topic. So, the recent Doctors Association RGS of Safdarjung Hospital and AIIMS New Delhi have written separate letters regarding the treatment of climatic activist Sonam Wangchuk. Safeguarding RDA wrote to the President of India expressing concern over protesting Wangchuk's autonomy and right to leave the hospital. AIIMS RDA demanded an independent inquiry into allegations of police interference during the Citizens for Justice and Peace protest march. The issue has now expanded beyond an individual case into a debate of constitutional rights, medical ethics, police accountability, and democratic freedoms. What is the background between it? Sonam Wangchuk has been leading companies related to environmental conservation, protection of Ladakh's fragile ecosystem, constitutional safeguards for Ladakh, and greater democratic participation. During a protest march, he was reportedly hospitalized after his health deteriorated. Subsequently, allegations emerged that he was not being allowed to leave the hospital despite expressing his willingness. This prompted Doctors Association to intervene. Now, what did the doctors say? First, safeguarding RDA. The association emphasized patient autonomy, medical ethics, right to informed consent, and freedom of movement. They requested the President to ensure that medical decisions remain independent of external pressure. Second, AIIMS RDA. The AIIMS doctors demanded an impartial investigation into a police conduct, protection of healthcare workers from outside interference, and respect of independence of medical institutions. Now, from a UPSC constitutional perspective, under Article 19, it includes citizens enjoy freedoms such as freedom of speech and expression, peaceful assembly, and freedom of movement. Although these rights are subject to reasonable restrictions, restrictions must follow due process and law. Under Article 21, it guarantees right to life and personal liability. The Supreme Court has interpreted Article 21 broadly to include human dignity, bodily autonomy, privacy, informed consent, and right to health. If a competent adult patient wishes to leave a hospital and has no lawful detention order, questions may arise regarding personal liberty. Third, rule of law. One of the basic features of the Constitution is that no authority, including police or administration, is above the law. Every restriction on liberty must have legal backing. Then, what are the medical ethics perspective? Medical ethics rest on four major principles. First, autonomy. Patients have the right to make decisions regarding their treatment. Second, beneficence. Doctors must act in the patient's best interest. Third, non-maleficence. Doctors should avoid causing harm. Fourth, justice. Equal treatment without political or administrative influence. Doctors argue that hospitals should function independently and not become instruments of administrative control. Note the police accountability. Wherever allegations of excessive police action arise, democratic systems generally require transparency, independent inquiry, accountability, and respect of all human rights. This is why AIIMS RDA has sought an investigation into the alleged police role during the protest. Now, what are the government issues? The controversy highlights several governance challenges: balance between law and order and civil liberties, institutional independence, public trust in healthcare, ethical decision making, and coordination between police and hospitals. For the UPSC mains linkage, this topic can be used in the GS paper second, which include fundamental rights, civil liberties, accountability of executive, and role of constitutional institutions. And in the GS paper 4, it includes ethics. Case study topics are medical ethics, professional integrity, administrative presence, moral courage, and public service ethics. 9 essay possible themes are democracy and dissent, liberty versus state power, ethics in public institutions, and constitutional morality. Now, what are the arguments supporting the doctor's position? So, protest constitutional values, upholds medical interdependence, reinforces patient autonomy and promotes accountability, strengthens democratic institutions. Government's likely perspective, authorities may argue that public order must be maintained, security concerns may require preventive measures, medical device may justify continued observation if necessary, and administrative action should be assessed based on applicable law and facts. The final legal position depends on the specific facts, medical records, and any lawful order in force. What is the way forward? So, a balanced approach would involve respecting constitutional rights, ensuring independent medical decisions, and maintaining transparency in police action, following due process of law, and strengthening trust between citizens and public institutions. Now, at the end, I just conclude my words by just saying that the Sonam Wangchuk episode goes beyond one individual's hospitalization. It raises broader questions about constitutional governance, patient autonomy, institutional independence, and democratic accountability. For UPSC, the key takeaway is not to take sides, but to analyze the issue through the lens of constitution, ethics, rule of law, and balanced governance. Now, I have one interview question for you. The question which might an interviewer would ask to you. So the question is, if a patient wishes to leave a government hospital but the administration believes there are security concerns, how would the state balance individual liberty with public order? Such think about the question that if a patient wishes that he wants to leave the government hospital but the administration believes that there are no security concerns, so how should the state balance individual liberty with public order? So a balanced answer would be there for this question is, the state must ensure that any restriction on personal liberty has a clear legal basis, is proportionate, and follows due process. Medical decisions should remain independent, while security concerns should be addressed through lawful procedures that respect constitutional rights, especially Article 19 and 21. So, I hope you all gain some knowledge from this information. So, for further, if you want the PDF of this topic, so you can join our Telegram channel. The link is mentioned below in the description box. So, thank you so much.